Today, we're going to talk about some things that should have never been allowed and also embarrassing moments to women and disgraceful moments towards women, but mainly women who have fought and worked really hard to win these competitions. And that definitely would have won if it wasn't for men being allowed on the women's team where they don't belong and they will never belong. But again, they are taking the rights of us women completely away. And in another way, trying to erase us. That's why there are men and women sports, is because there's two genders. That's it, two. Men should never be allowed in women's sports, restrooms, changing rooms, or anywhere else that is just for women. That needs to be stopped now. This has gone way too far, and this must be stopped. Now let's take a minute to watch this clip.
My name is Riley Gaines. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Kentucky, where I was on the women's swim team. I proudly finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American, a 5-time SEC champion. I am one of the fastest 200 butterflyers of all time. But on March 17th of last year, my teammates and I and other female swimmers from universities around the country were forced to compete against a biological male named Lia Thomas. Thomas was allowed to compete in the women's division after competing as a member of the University of Pennsylvania's men's swim team for 3 years. We watched on the side of the pool as Thomas won a national title in the 500-yard freestyle, beating out the most impressive and accomplished female athletes in the country, including Olympians and American record holders. Whereas just the year before, Thomas at best was ranking in the 400s in the men's category. The next day, Thomas and I raced in the 200 freestyle, which ended up in a tie. We went the exact same time down to the 100th of a second. Having only one trophy, the NCAA told me that I would go home empty-handed and this trophy would go to Thomas. And when I questioned this, the NCAA told me that Thomas had to hold it for photo purposes. I was shocked. I felt betrayed and belittled, reduced to a photo op. But my feelings didn't matter. What mattered to the NCAA were the feelings of a biological male. In 1972, Congress enacted Title IX to end unjust sex discrimination in all aspects of education, including college athletics. But by allowing Thomas to displace female athletes in the pool and on the podium, the NCAA intentionally and explicitly discriminated on the basis of sex. Although the NCAA claimed it acted in the name of inclusion, its policies in fact excluded female athletes. But that is not all. In addition to being forced to give up our awards, our titles, and our opportunities, the NCAA forced female swimmers to share a locker room with Thomas, a 6'4", 22-year-old male who was fully intact with male genitalia. Let me be clear. We were not forewarned. We were not asked for our consent, and we did not give our consent. If nothing else, I hope you can truly see how this is a violation of our privacy and how some of us have felt uncomfortable, awkward, embarrassed, and even traumatized by this experience. I know I don't speak for everyone. It's impossible to speak for everyone, but I can attest to the tears that were shed on that pool deck by these poor 9th and 17th place finishers who missed out on being named an All-American by one place. And I can attest to the extreme discomfort in the locker room when you turn around and there's a male watching you undress while exposing himself. I can attest to the anger and frustration from these girls who had worked so hard and sacrificed so much to get to this point. Unfortunately, our experiences are not unique. The number of female athletes who have been denied opportunities, again, traumatized or hurt by policies that claim to be promoting inclusion, is growing at an alarming rate around this country. It's simply unacceptable, and the integrity of women's sports is lost.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just listening to her is heartbreaking. I can't imagine being in her shoes. This is absolutely disgusting and degrading for a man to do to a woman. You couldn't make it in a men's league, so you thought you would try it out in the female league because you know you got a leg up. This woman should have won, and it was stolen from her by a man pretending to be a woman. You are biologically a man, and you will always be biologically a man. I don't care what you do to yourself. You will always be biologically a man. This is unfair and absolutely ridiculous to think that this is okay to do. Again, people need to stand up against this. This is insanity. Now let's watch another clip of a man, again, pretending to be a woman while he embarrasses himself and makes a mockery out of women.
Luistella naismoodissa, vaikka syntyperäisin olenkin mies. Ja sieltä on niin kuin 9 vuotta aikaa, eli siihen 9 vuoteen sisältyy aika paljon. Eli kun lähdetään ihan nollasta, niin ihan jo sitä, että pysyy pystyssä 2 jalalla, pysyy pystyssä 1 jalalla ja sen jälkeen rupeaa niin kuin uskaltamaan tehdä jotakin siellä jäällä. Ja sitten alkaa pikkuhiljaa kisaamaan ja esiintymään näytöksissä ja niin edelleen. Että sanotaan, että aika kivaa ura on ollut, mutta tietysti korona tuli vähän sitten väliin, että se sitten sotki kuviota. Mutta eteenpäin mennään ja homma jatkuu.
Mahtavaa. Näiden EM-kisojen slogan on tule sellaisen.
The only reason he was allowed to put on this performance is because he is a man pretending to be a woman. And he wanted to be an Olympic skater. And as you can see, he can't even skate. So again, what would be the purpose in this act? Because they are promoting what they want you to believe, that this transgender thing is okay, when it's not. And we're not going to allow it to be. You are not going to take the rights of women away. You are not going to replace women. You are not going to erase women. And you are not going to change reality, nor that this is not normal. And we are not going to live with this kind of degradation of women, nor our rights. Again, people, this is not normal, and we're not going to accept it being normal. So we need to take a stand and put a stop to this now. It has already went too far. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it. And I hope all y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.